Hello, first graders, and welcome back to your social studies job for today. Our target skill for today is I can compare and contrast rural and urban communities. If we reach back into that social studies brain of ours, boys and girls, we will remember that a community is a place where people live and work together. All right, let's investigate these communities or places where people live. All right, I'm going to ask you to be a detective today, boys and girls. Look at these pictures of rural communities. Look at these pictures of urban communities. What do you see that is the same, and what do you see that is different in these two types of communities? When I look at the rural side, I see lots of space and green grass and not a lot of houses. When I look at an urban community, I see really tall buildings with lots of places for people to live, but not as much space and green grass. A rural community, boys and girls, is a community that is in the country. So there is lots of space, but not as many people. An urban community is in the city. And in the city, there are a lot more people and a lot more things. All right. Our next job, boys and girls, is going to be to pull out your dictionary that you've been working so hard on and open up to the next empty page. If you need to pause the video as we go so you can finish your picture, I would like you to pause the video. All right, our first vocabulary word for today is neighborhood. You say it, neighborhood. A neighborhood is a small part of a city. We live in a city called Ankara, boys and girls, but I bet your neighborhood has another name. Draw what it looks like in your neighborhood. Maybe you have a Migros or a Çağdaş in your neighborhood. Maybe you have another type of store or a mall. What does it look like in your neighborhood? Our next vocabulary word is a farm. A farm is a place for growing plants and raising animals. All right, boys and girls, what do you notice about these pictures? They're in a rural community because in order to grow plants and raise animals, you need lots of space. Our last vocabulary word is shelter. You say it, shelter. A shelter is a home. A shelter, boys and girls, keeps you safe from weather outside, and it keeps you protected from things outside. What does your shelter look like? I have a question about shelters, boys and girls. How does where you live affect what shelter you have? So, for example, would a person living in a snowy place like this need the same type of shelter as a person living in the desert like this? Probably not. This person would need a shelter to keep them warm, and this person might need a shelter that allows lots of air in to keep them cool. Would a person living in a city like this need the same type of shelter as a person living on a farm like this? How might these shelters be different? But all shelters are the same in that they provide protection from outside, from the weather outside, no matter what that weather is. All right, boys and girls, now it is your turn. What you are going to do today is to take a look at these 4 different types of shelters. Where do you think these shelters would be? Draw to show what the communities around these shelters might look like. Have fun, and I'll see you next time.